Gurudev. Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudiraye. Jai Gurudev. Suma, will you be able to share screen for the Manana?
I'll have to start the computer.
Log in from the other, no? Till then, I will share because I might get a call from the hospital anytime. Bela, I think Bela will not be able to share from now. So I will share now. You can get your things ready. Huh?
Yeah.
We start from here, isn't it? Kastvam koham kuta ayatah kame janani ko me tatah iti paribhavaya sarvamasaram vishvam tyakva swapna vicharam. Am I enough audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. Kaha hu tvam, are you? Kaha hu aham, am I? Kutaha, from where? Ayataha, did I come? Kaha, who is? Me, my. Janani, mother. Kaha, who is? Me, my. Tataha, father. Iti, thus. Paribhavaya, inquire. Sarvam, all. Asaram, essenceless. Vishwam, the entire world of experience. Tyaktva, leaving aside. Swapna vicharam, a mere dreamland born of imagination. Seek Govind, seek Govind. Who are you? Who am I? From where did I come? Who is my mother? Who is my father? Thus inquire, leaving aside the entire world of experiences, Vishwam, essenceless and a mere dreamland born of imagination, Swapna Vicharam. Seek Govind, seek Govind. Till you are ready with the share screen, I will read Suma. After that, you can take over. Okay. An individual's life in this world is played out in an intricate web of mutual relationship. An individual's life in this world is played out in an intricate web of mutual relationship. In the tapestry of existence, individuals and their relationship between each other are the warp and woof. A right relationship between me and the objects and beings around me can be maintained only from the standpoint of my awareness and understanding of myself. If I am drunk or mad, or by any other reason, if I have come to forget Can I don't know whether I can hear someone else. Oh, why is this happening? 1 second, huh? Just
Do you want me to share? You're on mute, Dr. Brahma.
is anyone playing? I don't know. I can hear Nana's chanting. Suma, is your YouTube on?
No,
Mine is not on, but I'm wondering from where it's coming. I don't know why it's replaying for me. 1 second. Huh?
I can't hear anything. I don't know
You
about the
can't because
others.
I'm able to hear the whole recording of what our previous session. I'm checking out where. Okay, you know what? Maybe you can share the. You're able to share the screen.
Yeah. So where were we? Shall I read? So who are you? Who am I? Can I read? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. So who are you? Who am I? From where did I come? Who is my mother? Who is my father? Thus enquire, leaving aside the entire world of experiences, Vishwam, essence, essenceless and a mere dreamland, born of imagination. Swapna Vichar. Seek Govind, seek Govind. An individual's life in this world is played out in an intricate web of mutual relationship. In the tapestry of existence, individuals and their relationship between each other are the wrap and woof. A right relationship between me and the objects and beings around me can be maintained only from the standpoint of my awareness and understanding of myself. I am, if I am drunk or mad, or by any other reason I have come to forget myself, I will certainly keep an unhealthy and even dangerous relationship with things and beings around. In life, we are called upon to keep intelligent contacts with the world around, and therefore, the most profitable knowledge is indeed to know ourselves. In our ignorance of ourselves, we become abnormal and act either as a lunatic or a drunken fool. The poison of ego renders us completely delirious, and hence we are made to feel shattered and fall into utter dejection, as Arjuna Sthita. Close observation and intelligent enquiry alone are the methods by which all misapprehensions are ended, be it about the outer world of objects or about the inner world of experiences. Close observation and intelligent enquiry alone are the methods by which all misapprehensions are ended, be it about the outer world of objects or about the inner world of experiences. This is the crucial in this stanza. This is the wisdom. Close observation and intelligent inquiry. The outer world of objects and the inner world of experiences. So that Nirvana Shatakam comes to my mind. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the experiences. In life, it has been well noted that wherever there is a non-apprehension of a thing, misapprehensions about it arise. So wherever there is a non-apprehension of a thing, misapprehensions about it arise. When things of the world are not understood as they start playing their pranks upon the observer, and according to the observer's imaginations, the world becomes a caricature, at once vulgar and ugly, with exaggeration and lopsided magnifications. Therefore, a spiritual student is advised in Vedanta to exhaustively and scientifically inquire the subject in himself. Swadhyaya, this is. Inquire the sources from which we must have risen. Let us not take things for granted. Let us make use of our rational intellect. Inquire where from we have come and where are we bound to, whence and whither. Who are you? Who am I? Where have we come from? Who is really my mother? Who's the father? These are the lines of inquiry suggested in the verse, along with which we must try to investigate in order to end our misconceptions and reach the true apprehension of the reality. This is not possible for us at this moment because our mind is not readily available to turn upon itself and make such subjective inquiries. Our minds are at present too much preoccupied with their enchantments regarding the world of objects outside. Until a mind gets relieved from these dissipating preoccupations, that mind will not have the necessary freedom to apply itself totally in within. Until a mind gets relieved from these dissipating preoccupations, that mind will not have the necessary freedom, so true, to apply itself totally in within. Vishwam is a pregnant Sanskrit word with an endless width and depth in it, for it contains in its meanings all the human possibilities of experiences physical, emotional, and intellectual. Leaving aside, advises the author Yogananda, the entire world of experiences, Vishwam, realize that it is essenceless and that it is a mere dreamland born of imaginations. Swapna Vichara. In the empirical field of experiences, everything perishes constantly, and so all are unreal. In Mandukya Karika, Sri Gaudapada argues and shows us logically that the waking state of experiences are as unreal as our experiences in our dream. Thus, having dismissed all the haunting sense passions from our mind, turn it towards a close observation of our own subjective personality. Such enquiries will reveal not only the hollowness of the world of names and forms, of endless bewitching enchantments, but it will also reveal the empty vanities of the life as we now live. This stanza is attributed to Sri Yogananda. So this is a command for serious swadhyaya, this stanza, for me. And to drop the inner experiences as well. Turn the mind inward on itself, for which the mind has to be free. That is so powerful. Says here, no? Mind does not have the necessary freedom to apply itself totally within because of our preoccupations. Anyone's thoughts on this?
These are all very powerful introspective questions. No, who am I? Who are you? Where have I come from? Otherwise, we will get into the routine of life. We'll get up, wake up, do our routine stuff, complete the day, go back to bed. And day by day, this will continue. It is
And
only in the
Yogananda is
yeah.
saying that your waking state is also a dream. It's very much like the same story of your dream. Adi Shankar also says the same thing, no?
Yeah.
That your life is a dream.
Even Yoga Vasishta also, says the same.
Yoga Vashishta, I mean, it's a dream within a dream within a dream. So when you keep reading Yoga Vashishta, it is like for you, whatever is happening right now is also a dream. It really kind of underlines the fact that the whole thing is nothing but ethereal, very dream. It is a dream.
That's what even Gurudev says, fabric of the material is dream material. Life, the fabric of life is dream material.
But the problem, the point here is you cannot completely shoo it off as a dream. The skill is to live in the world as though it is real, because we have to go about doing our roles and responsibilities, no? So you can't completely say, okay, all this is a dream, but with this knowledge behind that it is a dream, you walk lightly, but you walk well, because every step you put should be towards moksha, number one, and it should be dharmic. It should not be adharmic. And then you complete your responsibilities with that attitude of karma yoga. So that is the skill.
You have to play your role, whatever role
You
has
have
been
to
given.
play the role. You can't say, oh, it's only a dream, so whether I cook or not doesn't matter.
No, no, no.
Not cook. You have to fill your stomach. When you're hungry, you have to eat. So with this knowledge at the back, that will help us not get entangled with the world.
Yeah, this
Not
knowledge
give
is
too
like
much
the tambura of the music, like that.
Right.
Knowledge.
The tanbura, background music should be there. This knowledge will help us develop that dispassion.
And also, to me, it comes to drop expectations of anything, everybody, including yourself. Because otherwise, the mind is caught up in that. So you have to free your mind from yourself.
Hmm. It's a very, very deep introspective shloka.
Be like Padma Patram Ambasa. That's what Bhagavad Gita says.
Right. And that is how Gurudev exemplifies that. No? See how much of responsibility he has taken. Every strata of society is catered to. And by the day, service projects are only increasing. Yet, the way when you just watch how he's walking, it is so effortless, so light, like, and with so much of, dignity and power that he walks.
So much of grace, yeah, absolutely.
You've never found him in a rush. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do it. No, he is like centered. Of course, he's our highest benchmark. But so all those we have to keep watching. Only we are our best judges, no? We can only mirror ourselves. Of course, people close to us will also be able to tell us what our faults are, weaknesses, sometimes when you are not able to. But those are those
But
that we should
our
strive for.
intentions only we know.
Yeah, exactly. What goes on in your upper story, of course, the Guru knows because he's Sarvadhi, he's there everywhere and he knows what's going on in your mind. But that is why that spiritual honesty is very important. No, there was this previous shloka, I think yesterday we read about mithyachara, where it's a self-deception. You're as though doing like ochre robes they will just wear, just to show to the world that they're on the spiritual path. But what goes on in their mind is completely otherwise. So that only we are accountable to ourselves. What is going on in our mind? Yeah, intellectual honesty and very important.
Threadbare,
Yeah, you should be transparent within, and that is where that thing of Arjavam, I think, right? Arjavam is where your thought, word, and deed are aligned. There is that integrity where it's not like what you're thinking is different from what you're saying and what you're doing. They're all aligned and they're all together. They're on the same line.
That we call it centeredness, right? Being centered. Being centered is that?
Centeredness is
yeah.
It is
Centeredness is more an equipoise, no? You're not ruffled by opposites happening in your life. That is centeredness. Whereas Arjavam is your inner integrity, basically.
The wholeness of your being, your thought, word, deed, everything is the same. The intention for your thought, your word, your deed, everything is the same. It is complete.
Like, for example,
your whole being is complete. on
Correct.
one point. That is
Yeah.
Arjava.
Sometimes what we say is not what we actually mean.
Hmm.
You know, when you say,
What do?
like the air hostess, when she says, have a good day, she's actually not meaning it. I mean, she's just saying it very mechanically. So when you actually
Superficially.
say it, uh, should we go to the next verse?
I think when we had the 6 day course, that time we had in our part one course only, who are you, what are you, where are
Yeah,
you? And
yeah.
then even in the TRMs, like teachers refresher me's, Guruji used to go on asking us to choose a partner and then ko hum, ko hum. And then who are you? You have to keep replying till you come to becoming blank like that was done. And I still remember, and I could not at that time understand. I didn't have this kind of knowledge background at that time. So I couldn't understand why is he going on making us do that. And that who are you always came from our relationships everywhere, whether it be in position or in relation to our family. So it was very tough. Like you never came to an answer as to who are you, and he never gave the answer. And at the end, he would always say, "Those who know do not tell; those who tell do not know." Was the way Guruji used to answer it. And then in the teachers' meeting, he would make us hold a mirror for nearly about half an hour and look at your image in the mirror. And I don't know, like it was something like Tratak or meditation or whatever, but that process was done. And then with the buddy, we had to go out in the open in the amphitheater, and then each had to rub rock salt on the other. Like we had to put our pajamas up till the knees and then clean each other's feet with rock salt and till from the shoulders, the whole hands, like, and remove all the negative energy or whatever. He made us do
Oh,
such
wow.
processes.
What did you do for the arms?
From the shoulders, whatever, however much you could put your kurta up and then
Hmm.
rub rock salt on it, on your body.
Ah,
The body
okay.
would rub on you and you would rub on the body.
Mm-hmm.
Probably it was to remove negative energy. I believe rock salt removes negative energy.
Mm-hmm. We do the drishti pariharam, no? Where you use salt and do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Remove.
Now this who are you is becoming so clear, like when at that
Mm.
time.
Mm. I used to enjoy this. Who are you? Initially, it was like fun, but over
But
a period
after
of
a point,
time,
it
You
used
know,
to
you
come
reach
like,
yeah,
you used to
you
go blank, like, and then if the partner
yeah,
would
yeah.
keep on asking you, who are you, who are you? Now what reply to give? Like, I
you
mean, we had
reach a
so much
state
lack
where
of
you're
knowledge at that
silent.
time.
Yeah, true.
And then even in the silence, we didn't have the any direction as to where, in what to put our thought process like. And that probably was our fault. Like we were lacking in, I was lacking in that knowledge is the way I look at it now. Like this Tattva Bodha and
I
Atma
really missed
Bodha has,
the 6 day course. Teaching the 6 day course, I really miss.
yeah, there's so much depth to what Guruji tells us to
Yeah.
do in each process. We just don't realize it, like, unless
Mm.
we have that kind of knowledge backing. Tattva Bodha and Atma Bodha has been phenomenal for me at least. Absolutely, like, I don't know. And then Bhajo Govindam, to like, I'm just sleeping into a kind of a meditative state of mind. Like, when I'm even listening to it, like,
Mhm.
so thought provoking. It's going so deep inside, like,
Very true.
Jai Gurudev.
Yeah. Jai Gurudev. त्वयि चान्यत्रैको विष्णुः व्यर्थं कुप्स्यसि मयि असहिष्णुः भवसमचित्तः सर्वत्र त्वं वाञ्छस्याचि Vanchasya chiradyadi Vishnutvam.
Shankara and his, Shankara and his commentary upon the Karika brings this out in a 5-membered syllogism. Hanuman. Things seen in the waking are illusionary. Pratignya, because they are seen. Like the things seen in the dream, darshananta. As in the dream, there is illusion, there is illusionariness for the things seen. So even in waking, the characteristics of being seen is the same. Hetupas upanyaya. Therefore, even in waking, the illustrations, illusionariness of things is declared. Nigamana. Oh, this explains well how the waking stage is also a dream, because it is seen. Dream also you see. So both are illusionary. Very nice. I can't read Sanskrit, so I'll just read the meaning. In you, in me, and in all other places too, there is but the one all-pervading reality, Vishnu. In you, in me, and in all other places too, there is but one all-pervading reality, Vishnu. Being impatient, you are unnecessarily getting angry with me. If you want to attain soon the Vishnu status, be equal-minded in all circumstances. Seek Govind, seek Govind. This also is so powerful. To see Vishnu in everyone, you need so much of, you have to become pure like Vishnu, then only you can see Vishnu everywhere. For which you need so much of cleaning, so much of patience. Being impatient or unnecessary, you are unnecessarily getting angry with me. If you want to attain soon the Vishnu status, be equal-minded in all circumstances. So this is what is Sthita Prajna, unruffled. Be equal-minded in all circumstances.
Yeah, samatvam yogam chati.
Yeah. The teacher here asserts the eternal truth that has been the experience of thousands of masters for thousands of years in all the different spiritual paths in our country, and declares that in you, in me, and in all other places too, there is but one all-pervading reality, Vishnu, the long strident. I'm reminded of Prahlad. He said, no, he's there in the Tunilum Ullan, Turumbilum Ullan. He's there in the rust and in the iron. So there are certain truths which are so fundamental in a science that a teacher in it can ill afford to avoid the monotony of their repetitions. Intellectual students thirst for knowledge, ever hunger for variety, for new ideas, for fresh ideals, and ever new truth declarations. The inner man seeks variety even at the intellectual level. Should be the inner man or the inert man? The inner man seeks variety even at the intellectual level. The laborious repetitions of
The inner man seeks variety even at the intellectual level. Yeah, maybe there seem to be a lot of typos in this text. Maybe they did not do enough proofread, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe this was one of the earlier texts.
The laborious repetitions of the teacher sap out the patience of the student, and perhaps unconsciously on his face, he expresses his restlessness. The teacher, noticing it, openly says here, being impatient, you are unnecessarily angry with me. There is no other way in which this subtle knowledge can be conveyed to the seekers. Repetition alone is the way, for if the student has already understood, he would never have returned to the teacher. So true. This is like initially you wanting experiences in your meditation, or you want new experiences, or at least I had that. That was my motivation to go to seek meditation and run for all courses, because of the experiences, new experiences. Now I've come to the state of that being with that, not seeking for experiences, but being okay with whatever happens.
Yeah, we are now in a Ramate Buddha state.
When once he has realized the perfection, there is no necessity for him to feel anymore any sense of imperfection. This is so true. When once he has realized the perfection of the being, that everything is perfect as it is, there is no necessity for him to feel anymore any sense of imperfection. Mandukya Karika says, only in the realm of multiplicity there are doubts and explanations. In the experience of the oneness, there is no doubt, and therefore no answer is needed. So this is where Gurudev is. He doesn't give any answer. No, who are you? Because he sees the oneness. So in the experience of oneness, there is no doubt, and therefore no answer is needed. So true. Therefore, so long as he has not realized the highest, the teacher has to talk of the same truth again and again for purposes of emphasis, until the student, in a flash, comes to realize the highest all by himself in his own heart. So,
Recollecting how China used to hammer us with all, especially the second, third, fourth chapters.
And there was one question and answer session also, no? Gurudev asks all the people in the ashram, or one of the person, I think, who was with him, said, what did you hear? So he said, Gurudev, you always say the same thing all the time, everywhere. Do any of you remember that? When there was a knowledge sheet in that, or a question and answer session where Gurudev asks this person, what did you hear? So this disciple said, Gurudev, you say the same thing all the time, same 5 knowledge points. So I didn't hear anything. You said the same thing here also. So Gurudev is hammering the same thing again and again. Thus, it is futile for you in your impatience to feel angry with me, says the teacher. In case you want to attain soon the great realm of peace, Vishnuhood, then the teacher advises him, be equal-minded in all circumstances. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Very correct. Please don't get angry if you're not having the experience of the infinite. Even after studying all the voluminous tons of spiritual literature, scriptural literature, there is nothing for you to despair of. There is certainly a way to get at the fulfillment in knowledge. Thus assures the teacher by the general import of their words. To know of love is indeed quite entertaining, but to experience love and be in it is to altogether a different and highly enriching experience. Similarly, to know the scriptural contents and to intellectually appreciate the infinite reality is a satisfying job, no doubt, but it is not the voiceless fulfillment of the all-shattering experience, the utter Atma-sakshat karaha. Atma-sakshat karaha. That is. It is not the voiceless fulfillment of the all-shattering experience. The utter Atma-sakshat karaha. In order to gain this, it is not sufficient that we have intellectually followed the textbooks or have logically understood the arguments in the book. We have to accomplish it solely in our own bosom, for which certain deliberate preparations of the mind are unavoidable. It must be made receptive for the subtle influences from the higher planes of consciousness. The secret is revealed in this stanza. Practice equanimity of the mind. Samachittatvam. While living in the world, desirable and undesirable happenings will float down upon the stream of time to meet us. And in all these vicissitudes, to learn to remain unshaken is the practice of even-mindedness advised here. The external world of objects and happenings can disturb us only when we have the positive or negative vasanas in ourselves. Objects conducive to our existence, vasanas, will attract us, and objects contrary to our vasanas will repel us. In order to develop the mental equipoise, one must strive to filter away from one's own mind all the existing vasanas. So, clean your impressions. This is accomplished through dedicated action, devotion to the Lord, service to mankind, contemplation upon the highest, and constant study and self-reflection. I found this as a first step to even to recognize that we have impressions, positive and negative vasanas. So we have to constantly study our mind. Swadhyaya we have to do and reflect on that. Then take dedicated action. I would put this as 2. Then of course all this come together. Devotion to the Lord, service to mankind, contemplation upon the highest. So this would be 1, this would be 2, this would be 3. This 2 will be in the constant background, devotion to Lord and contemplation upon Lord. This reminds us of the Bhagavad Gita, which advises the cultivation of this trait as one of the most essential preparations for jnana. Constant even-mindedness, both in desirable and undesirable circumstances. This samatvam, equal vision on all things and beings and in all circumstances, is declared by Gitacharya as the very contents of yoga. When once this equanimity of mind has been regained, year long, achitra, achirat. Once this equanimity of the mind has been regained, the experience of the infinite shall descend upon you, and you shall come to gain the status of the one liberated in life, Jivan Muktaha. This is the experience of Vishnutvam. So what are your thoughts? Are you all there? It's just me.
Yes, Kumarji, we're all here.
Makes you silent, no, this one? Because it is asking you to work on your own mind. Look inward and get to equipoise state of mind. So first clean the mind, first look into the mind, clean the mind with dedicated actions, do seva, be devoted and contemplate upon the highest.
And
That is where you will get Vishnu experience. Yeah?
This is like giving us a roadmap, right?
Yeah. So again, it goes back to that same 6.5. For me, that 6.5 is the most powerful shloka so far in the Gita. Lift your mind by your own mind.
You know, while we are at this, I just wanted to share what Nana had mentioned a few days back. He was telling me, he said, one good way to continue the Manana and, involve everyone and, make it meaningful is probably each one can take up one shloka and then explain it. Take about 5 minutes or so and explain that. That way, not only will everybody be, actively involved, number one, and your clarity, the amount of clarity each one gets will improve. Otherwise, it may be just an intellectual exercise.
True.
Isn't it?
Only
Now
after
that you told me about your shloka 6.5, it just occurred to me. This was some time back, Nana had mentioned. In fact, we were doing that. We did that, I think, for 3-4 days. He said, everybody, take turns and whichever shloka of the Bhagavad Gita, pick it up and then present it. Maybe we should take that on a serious note and actually do it.
Yeah.
No?
And I began to realize the importance of Manana only after attending Swami Suryapada's Bhagavad Gita. Because that's where he says, no, that each one's intellect will get something. And when you do Manana, you get the collective wisdom. Because the consciousness is collective wisdom. I never thought of it like that. So only after Swami Suryapada's Chayana's Bhagavad Gita, I realized the importance of Manana. Otherwise, I used to think, oh, I have to sit and listen to so many people.
Yeah. It might seem, but then actually you're learning so much.
Yeah. In
Because
different
everybody
perspective
sharing.
also you get.
And only
And
when we start speaking.
With samatvam, no?
Yeah, and
over
not only that,
time,
only when you start sharing and speaking, that little clarity, all those little gray areas also will start, getting clearer and clearer. They'll get cleared up.
And in fact, I also realize I am learning more because of this Manana sessions. And then I remembered what Gurudev said, no, all this scriptural study is only 25%. Ultimate is your self-inquiry. But without this scriptural study, nobody will ever look into their mind, no?
Not only that, every situation, every sloka comes and, lifts you up and tells you, hey, do this, don't do that, It is really helping me, actually.
Okay, we'll have time for one more shloka, I think. I'm afraid I can't read. So
I'm actually outside. I'm in my hospital. Let me see if I can chant. Is there anyone to chant? Maybe there's going to be some background noise. I will just chant. Shatrau mitre putre bandhau ma kuru yatnam vigraha sandhau sarvasminnapi pashyatmanam sarvatrotsrija veda jnanam. Yeah, we can continue, Suma.
Yeah. Strive not, waste not your energy to fight against or to make friends with your enemy, friend, son, or relative. Seeking the self everywhere, lift the sense of difference, plurality, born out of ignorance. See, again, he is giving us the step for samatva, to come to the state of equanimity. Don't try to waste your energy to fight against or to make friends with your enemy. Your friend, your son, your relative, wife, family, all that. But instead, direct that energy in seeking the self everywhere. Because in everybody, Govinda is there, Vishnu is there. So direct your energy in seeking the self everywhere. Lift the sense of difference. So drop the sense of difference between you and the other. You and all this, friend, son, enemy, relative, family. So drop the sense of difference. And that is because it is born out of ignorance. So drop all your ignorance. Because only one exists, and that is the self, which is Govinda. So seek Govinda. So it is Krishna in you, Krishna in the other as well. So seek Krishna in everywhere and in everybody. So train your mind and energy for that.
Yomam pashyate sarvatra, sarvatra mai pashyate.
See one in all and all in one, no? That's also there in one of the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. That also Chayana emphasized, told us to learn that shloka by heart. I don't know the number of that shloka. Nobody can afford to hate himself. Even when a part of the body is ulcerated and gives endless pain, and the doctor may advise an amputation, yet man hesitates. The leg that kills me with pain is one with me, and I have no enmity with it. But if another one, even if it be my most beloved brother, gives me a little disturbance of mind, I hate him, his wife, and his children. Hatred can come only when we see the thing hated as something other than us. Train the mind here again to drop the difference, not to see the other, but to see Govinda and everything. No doubt, my leg is my own, but even then, I do not cultivate purposefully an intimacy with my leg. I never court my leg nor develop a special friendship with it. It's not necessary. In and through every cell in my body, I live at all spots, at all moments. I am myself an artistic whole. And from the tip of my toe to the roof of my crown, everywhere, at all times, I exist. It is ridiculous for me to give a greater love to any part of my body more than any other part. If my teeth unfortunately bite my own tongue, justice is not meted out by me by breaking the teeth. For the tongue is as much mine as the teeth are. Automatically, I feel total forgiveness for the teeth, and I comfort and console the tongue that has suffered the tyranny of the teeth. Very nicely described, no?
It's so beautiful. Very nice.
When the whole universe has emerged out from the one womb of reality, who is the other one whom I can afford to hate? So when the whole universe has emerged out from the one womb of reality, when the whole universe has emerged out from one womb of reality, who is the other one whom I can afford to hate? Nor is there one whom I can afford to quote particularly and love specially. All are his manifestations alone, including me. Thus, the author of the stanza advises a true seeker of this universal harmony around. Strive not, waste not your energy to fight against or to make friends with anyone. Be it an enemy, friend, son, or relative. It may be asked then, what exactly is life meant for? What exactly be the direction in which one's emotional energy should flow out? The Acharya gives the answer in the closing 2 lines of the verse. If you are a seeker of the fuller life, if you are thirsty to hear the melody of the harmonious existence, if you are hungry to taste and enjoy the essence of life, seek to realize the one reality who holds together the whole universe into one garland of beauty. The universe is a cosmos and not a chaos. There exists a mutual affinity, a scientific law, a rhythm of mutual relationship in which the entire living world is held together in one web of love. To assume differences in the world is to belie this great oneness in life. In a loveless life of hate and meanness, of littleness of heart and limited viewpoint, there is nothing but suffocation. sorrow and agitation. Expand. Come in contact with the melody of the great flute player who enchants us all to dance our life around him. There is, in fact, none other. Shift your attention to this central source of beauty and song, the rewarding vision of this mass of flaming song. In the author's own language, see the self everywhere and rise above the sense of difference born out of stupidity. When my beloved children play with mud and with it look abnormally ugly and dirty, do I not see my child in and through the mud and the dirt on him? When my beloved changes her garments, do I not see and recognize her always in and through what she wears? Similarly, develop the vision to look far beneath the externals of life and watch for to detect the one substratum, the manifestation of which are the convulsions of society, the hysterical expressions of love and hatred, together constituting the total world of playground. Whatever be the language in which a music is sung, one who has got the knowledge of the raga can very easily detect the melody and enjoy it. For enjoying the tune, the words need not be familiar. Couched in those words run the ravishing beauty of its melody. Similarly, beneath the surface of the flesh and its fatigueness, behind the mind and its wretchedness, hidden under the intellect and its vulgarities, there runs an enchanting chord of beauty and truth. Contact this infinite self and thus rise above the sense of difference. He, you, they, and I. These have a meaning only with reference to the equipment, but the one vitalizing force holds us all together. In case, if anyone in the world feels unhappy, miserable, neglected, and wretched, it is only his fault and not the fault of the world. Gita says, you yourself is your own friend and you yourself your own enemy. This is 6.5. Uttare tatmanatmanam. No? Happiness around. So I read that again. Gita says, you yourself is your own friend and you yourself your own enemy. Happenings around by themselves cannot storm our within, but we, in our false values, give them importance. Open the doors of our heart and allow them to come in to ransack our own bosom with their relentless tyranny. We hate, and then we start recognizing hatred reaching us from all sides. The moment we start loving honestly, sincerely, and unconditionally, love of the same depth and texture must reach us back. The moment we start loving honestly, sincerely, and unconditionally, love of the same depth and texture must reach us back. What we receive in the world is but an echo of our own heart's cry. So true. What we receive in the world is but an echo of our own heart's cry. What we see in others' face is nothing but a reflection of our own feature. To recognize the one eternal source as expressing through all the names and forms is to change the very nature of our environment, the very vision of our world around. Kathopanishad expresses this one cardinal truth in the most poetic form and says, just as one fire, having reached various wicks, expresses itself as different flames, so the one truth, burning in different bosoms, expresses as the good, the bad, the wretched, the noble. Ishavasya Upanishad declares that having realized this one substratum in the universe, having realized this one substratum in the universe, the man of realization has therefore no occasion to feel repelled from anything or from any situation. An incapacity in us to be in harmony with the situation or with an individual, and the consequent discordant ruffle in our own bosom is called jugupsa. This cannot take place when we see our own self expressed everywhere, just as a mother cannot have any revulsion for her own child, because to her the child is a part and parcel of her own life's essence. Isha Upanishad, while discussing this state of realization, goes to the extent of even exclaiming, there, what delusion, what sorrow can reach where one experiences the oneness everywhere. True. So there is no sorrow, there is no misery when you focus on this oneness. When you see, when you cultivate your mind to see this Vishnutvam everywhere. And when you start experiencing this, when you reach that state, when experiences the oneness everywhere, there is no sorrow, no delusion. Very nice. Any thoughts? Anyone wants to share? I think Nana did this also, no? 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll read the English. Kamam, Krodam, Lobham, Moham, Tyaktva, Manam, Pashyati, Soham. Atmajnana, Vihena, Mudha, Te Pashyante, Narakani, Huda. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. So leaving desire, anger, greed, and delusion, the seeker sees in the self, he am I. There are fools who have not self-knowledge, and they, consequently, as captives in hell, are tortured. So leaving desire, anger, greed, and delusion, the seeker sees in the self, he am I. Only fools who have not got into the self-knowledge, only they are tortured as captives in the hell. In their own mind, they are tortured. The conditions under which the seeker reaches the state of God realization is painted here vividly by the author Bharati Vamsha. So long as we are not able to get rid completely of all our unnecessary mental agitations and the natural extrovertedness, this subtle melody of the infinite bliss cannot be contacted or clearly received in our bosom. The subtle melody of infinite bliss cannot be contacted or clearly received in our bosom. as long as we have this mental agitation. Therefore, the Acharya says, leaving desire, anger, greed, and delusion, the seeker must strive with an enthusiastic alertness to feel the inspired experiences of the transcendental reality. Such a true seeker, when he realizes this eternal harmony in life, he understands the truth not as we generally understand things in the world outside. All our knowledge in the world are objective, and therefore we understand them as something other than ourselves. This spiritual truth being the very core of our own existence, the realization when it comes, it will not be that I have understood it or him, but the experience will be he am I, Soham, that I am. So nice, no? So there is no other. You are that. This is something like discovering, after a lot of searching, the lost key, at last in your own pocket. No doubt, the man will cry out, I have got the key, I have got the key. But in fact, there was no getting it. It was only a process of discovering the key that was already there in his pocket, which was lying concealed by his own ignorance of its existence. Very nice simile. So too, this perfect state of tranquility is man's real nature. So this perfect state of tranquility is man's real nature. Due to desire, anger, greed, and delusion, this bliss seems to be for him veiled from himself. And when his agitations are quietened, behind it stands the truth in all its resplendency. Angry and impatient, restless and agitated, when Radha waits for the Lord under the tree, some rough hand sweetly closes her eyes from behind. She protests, gets angry, gets worried, really afraid. Holding the hand that covers her eyes, she fights, howls, curses, and in the end discovers that the very hands that covered her eyes belong to the very one for whom she was waiting for all the time. Once the passions of the heart are removed, truth, self-evident, stands revealed as the very eternal sweetness of perfection. He who has not gained this self-knowledge, Atmajnana, who has not experienced this infinite perfection, comes to live in a sorrowful misunderstanding that life is a stream of vulgar sorrows, perspiring passions, exhausting desires, and endless sentiments. And he, indeed, is a crown jewel among fools, Muda Shiromani. In the non-apprehension of reality, misapprehensions of ego and its desires, greed and anger, likes and dislikes, and such other misapprehensions arise, and they create a self-made hell for man to live in and suffer continuously. Tortured by them, torn limb by limb by the buffeting waves of passions in his own bosom, man cries as a sorrowful creature, eternally suffering in a self-condemned existence, in a hell created by himself for himself. This stanza reminds us of another verse attributed generally to Shankara, which says, desire, anger, greed are looters that stand within the body, ready to plunder the knowledge, gem. Therefore, be vigilant, be vigilant. Therefore, to sum up, renounce desire, anger, and greed, and come to experience in your own personal subjective experience that he am I. This alone is the fulfillment of a man's mission in life. In fact, God alone is. The concept of I is a stupid dream. Surrender and realize. Through right knowledge, reject what you are not. Assert your real nature and come to realize the oneness of the life in you and the life everywhere present. So therefore, to sum up, renounce desire, anger and greed, and come to experience in your own personal subjective experience that he am I am that, I am him. This alone is the fulfillment of a man's mission in life. In fact, God alone is. The concept of I is a stupid dream. Surrender and realize. Through right knowledge, reject what you are not and assert your real nature, which is divine, and come to realize the oneness of the life in you and the life everywhere present. So come to Vishnutvam everywhere. Anyone wants to share anything? Cleaning the impurities of anger, greed, and desire from your mind. That's what we have to do. And for which all these sadhana practice is the tool.
And that sloka se krodhat bhavati sammoha. That's, one thing leads to the other. All this desire leads to anger, leads to all this.
Anger leads to loss of memory, which destroys your intellect, and that leads to sarvanasham.
So the root cause is desire.
Yeah. Attachment to your desires. Dropping your desire is no problem. Having desire, and that's okay. And you can drop it. But attachment to your desires, and when you don't get it, you get angry. When you get angry, you lose your
Balance. Equilibrium.
Yeah, equilibrium, and anger comes, no? When you don't get your desire, anger comes. When anger comes, delusion comes.
Yeah.
With delusion, your memory of who you are is lost. That you are divine, that memory is lost, and when that memory is lost, your intellect is also gone.
Intellect is
Your discriminating faculty is gone, and when that goes,
you are in
sarvanasham, everything is lost. So basically, clean your impressions of anger, greed, all that, delusion, all that. Desire, anger, greed. Clean those impressions.
The desire and attachment to desire, the basic, that is the basic thing.
So dropping attachments is very difficult. So that is where we have to go into this sadhana. No? Sadhana helps you, things which are not conducive to life drops on its own. Isn't it?
Things happen. Yeah, we can't.
Yeah, with Sudarshan Kriya practice, Sahaj practice.
It happens really.
That is not healthy to your life. All these anger, greed, jealousy, all that will drops.
Yes, on its own it goes. Yeah, true.
On its own it goes. Yeah. And then you come to realize your true nature, and you start asserting your true nature.
This is the one we have to work on. To someone, this is the one we have to work on. That the summary he has given. Renounce desire. Everything is he. That is the only the reality of life.
There is only one. In fact, God alone is.
Aham Brahmasmi. Again, Aham Brahmasmi, Tatvamasi.
Yeah.
All the Vakyas. Mahavakyas.
Hmm. When you come to realize the oneness of the life in you and the life everywhere present. So the same God is there in you, in everyone else. In you as you, in the other as that person. So when you clean your mind, only God begins to shine, no? Divinity begins to shine. Slowly, slowly, slowly.
Only one consciousness, it is giving this illusionary play.
So that's the only purpose of our life, to clean our mind. That's why we are given this, we have been gifted this life.
Just a big process, we have to do that. Yeah.
So shall we stop here?
Yes, Sumaji, we can stop here. I don't know about others. I think.
So we are at par with Nanaji, no? Now, same sloka he stopped. So we also stop here. Tomorrow he'll take up this. Isn't it?
So much we have learned in this Bhaja Govindam, so uplifting.
Yeah.
Just keep on reading. I want to read every day, little, again and again. Punah.
So we'll chant the Shanti mantra. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, thank you.